The tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery is a treasured piece of American history. Since 1948, it has been under constant military protection 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The tomb holds the body of an unidentified soldier who was killed in France during World War I. As the story goes, the body was chosen out of 4 unidentified bodies by Army Sergeant Edward Younger, who once said, "I went into the church and walked past the caskets. I walked around them 3 times. Suddenly I stopped. A voice seemed to say, 'This is a pal of yours.' I put the rose on the coffin in front of me and went back into the sunlight." And every year at that marble tomb, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, a wreath is laid to commemorate Veterans Day.
My name is Charles Allen Boyles. Here at Pittsburg High School, I teach stagecraft, theater design 1, and theater design 2.
Gotcha.
Most people know me by Chuck.
I'm Anthony Fisher, and I teach culinary arts and restaurant and hospitality management.
I'm Jordan Grenier. I am a 12th grader senior.
My name is Homo Farrow. I am a senior.
What years were you in service?
Oh my gosh, I just realized how far ago that was. 1988 to 2010.
I enlisted in 1995. I served 12 years, got out in 2009 completely, and I've been wandering since.
What branch did you serve in?
Kansas Army National Guard for pretty much the whole time.
I served in the United States Army.
What branch do you want to serve in after you graduate high school?
Well, right now I'm currently serving in the U.S. Air Force. Right after high school, right after I graduate, I guess, I am going to basic training.
I am currently in the U.S. Army.
So tell me about your story. Why did you want to join the military?
I've been wanting to join the military since I was 5 years old. I saw a documentary on World War II, and especially it was, the scene on D-Day, so when beaches of Normandy. I was watching that, and so I saw all these soldiers, storming the beach, and a lot of them knew they were going to die, but they still did it anyway. But it was for a great cause and something higher than themselves. And so I saw that, and I said that's what I want to do. Along with I also have a long history of family in the military, especially the Army. My grandpa and my dad were in the Army, and so that really helped me and motivated me to really do and go on this path.
Why did you choose to serve in the first place?
Back then, my family, wasn't really financially well off, and I really wanted to go to college. And there was some extra incentives, both with the GI Bill and with the enlistment bonus for the particular branch or MOS that I chose.
I grew up in the military. My dad served. My mom served. My grandfather served. All my great uncles served. My uncle on my dad's side served in Vietnam. I have this huge, tremendous respect for it. I grew up in it. It was almost expected. My sister was a civil service employee. My mom is now a civil service employee. So to me, service was expected. The service impacted me, giving me a unique perspective on the world. I spent a lot of time growing up on military installations. I wasn't exposed to a lot of things that today's high school students are exposed to. I didn't understand a lot of little things in life. But when I enlisted myself, I started to understand them. I was exposed to them a little bit more, and it broadened my horizons. It educated me on a level of intimacy and brotherhood and friendship and compassion that I had never experienced.
Probably the biggest downfall would be post-traumatic stress and the loss of life and severe injuries of some of my friends. As a combat engineer, we had a pretty dangerous profession, one that we all did proudly, but we did lose a soldier by the name of Derek Luters during my second tour, and that hit us pretty hard.
I've buried a lot of friends. I've been on a lot of military honor guards, but I'm happy to call them brother and sister, and I get excited when my friends tell me that their kids are enlisting, or one of my students tells me that they're enlisting. I get excited, and I always send letters and care packages. Most of my personal experiences, I lost a marriage to my service, but I learned from it. It made me a better person. But all in all, the biggest thing I gained from it was love and compassion for my fellow human beings.
What does Veterans Day mean to you specifically?
Veterans Day for me, it's we get to honor the sacrifice that they gave for us. Not a lot of people know what they do for us, but they sacrifice a lot. They have to sacrifice birthdays with their kids, family time. They have to do a lot so much, and also some of them don't come back, and so they're not only sacrificing stuff for them, but they're also sacrificing people here at home, and so that's really important, because they do this because they don't have to do this. They do it because it has to be done, and so I think that's important.
I think a thank you for your service is probably all that's really needed, all that veterans really want. There are a lot that shy away from the big public gatherings and shy away from public thank yous, and sometimes I am one of them.
It's a chance for us not to forget. So many of our brothers and sisters did not come home. Whether they served in World War I, the Civil War, all the way back to the Revolutionary War, I still call them brother and sister. They're never forgotten. They're always a part of our lives. And as long as we remember them, then we remember what's so unique about where we live.
My family is full of people who've served, like my uncle and my grandpa. It was interesting to grow up in an environment that was so open to the idea of service and so appreciative of what veterans have done for us, and at the same time be able to hear the real-world stories of what actually happened. An interesting point that was brought up while making this video was that all too often people confuse the purpose of Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and I spent some time thinking about that. I think people often see Memorial Day and Veterans Day as one and the same, but that's definitely not the case. There's a clear distinction to make between the two. Memorial Day is for those we've lost, but Veterans Day is for those that are still here. I think that from my perspective, we seem to have sort of devalued what Veterans Day really means. The purpose of the holiday isn't just to celebrate and commemorate, but it's also a way to show the gratitude we have for those that have served. It's a shame that in today's day and age, we really don't celebrate Veterans Day, but rather we just kind of let it happen. For most, it's just a few words that take up space on your calendar. But again, that's a serious misunderstanding of what Veterans Day is truly meant to be. It's not about whether or not you even agree with this war or that war, but it's about the ability to acknowledge the service of others. It was never meant to be about conflict or pain, but memories and acknowledgement. Memories of the past, and acknowledgement of other people's sacrifices. We're defined more by our inability to recognize the truth than our ability to see it. And the truth is that the concept of Veterans Day isn't a new one. The idea of gratitude has been around for a long time, and it's our job to make sure that nobody who has served goes without thanks.
Most Americans have seen the traditional folding of the American flag at specific events such as funerals. Have you ever wondered why Old Glory is folded that specific way? Much more than just pomp and circumstance, each of the 13 folds holds special meaning. The portion of flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars representing states our veterans served in uniform. The field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted only when draped as a funeral cloth over the casket of a veteran who has served our country honorably in uniform. In the U.S. Armed Forces, at the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it is brought out, and at a ceremony of reveille, flown high as a symbol of belief in the resurrection of the body. The flag-folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our great country was originally founded. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. As American citizens trusting in God, it is Him we turn to in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. In the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor our mother for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood. It has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that has molded the character of the men and women who have made this country great. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, who has also given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since he or she was first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon and glorifies the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies God the Father, the Son, and Holy Ghost. The 13th and last fold. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it has the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, and were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the U.S. Armed Forces, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
If you could say one thing to all of your fellow veterans or even people who are serving in the military now, what would you say?
Wow, I don't know exactly what I would tell them other than I'm proud of them. I'm honored by them. Taking up the mantle to serve is a huge impact on your life. It's going to change you as a person, as a citizen, but don't lose your love, your compassion, your uniqueness. Bring those home with you and share them with those experiences with the world.
If I could say something to veterans, I want to say thank you for everything you've done. Not a lot of people know what you do for us, but I do, and some of us that go into the military do, and you're our heroes. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for your service. We wouldn't be here without you, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for what you have done, is what I would say to my fellow veterans. Thank you for taking the chance of what you might have to do or where you might have to go. And thank you for basically the blank check that you wrote to your country that could possibly, be filled even with your life.
If you take a few moments and think of all the people that have given sacrifices, given their time, given their lives, and given their families to give you this opportunity to experience a beautiful new day, just take a few moments of silence. Think about them. Love who you have. Choose every moment for what it is.